Hi, everybody, and welcome to I Like Cruise Ships, the YouTube channel, and welcome to a go live. And actually the first go live since I've got home from the Carnival Dream and the cruise ship I was on. If anybody watching is a follower of the channel, you'll know in the recent few videos, I did some kind of pre-recorded question and answer videos, and I did some reply videos as well. So hope you like those. I hope maybe you got your question answered. This go live actually is another chance to answer some questions into the comments. So if you are watching and you're interested in me answering some questions to the best I can, I'm not able to answer everything. I'm not answer technical questions, I guess, but anything that I can answer, I will do my best to do. So I see some people already live. I see 6 people. 7 people watching, and I've got a thumbs up already, so that's great. If you do want to type anything into the question and answer, I guess into the, what do you call it, the comment box, I'm looking at it over here, please go ahead and type something. I'll give you a shout out and mention things as much as I can. So yeah, let's get underway, shall we? I'm not too sure how long this will go for. So let's see, maybe 30 minutes, maybe 1 hour. If you guys like it, we can do another one another time. It really is a matter of getting the right timing for me to do this. Of course, right now I'm in Perth, Australia, and it's 9:34 a.m. So it's morning time for me here. Maybe in the comments you can put where you guys are and what time it is, and we'll answer some questions. And what I'll do, I'll just go through the few people. What I'll do, I'll read out the comments in order as they're typed here. So if it gets a little bit, I'm sure it's not going to get too fast, the comments, but if it does, I'll read them slowly. Yeah, I'm actually in my lounge room right now. I'm not sure how echoey it is. There isn't very much furniture in the house I'm in. This is actually not my house. It's a house that I've rented for the next few months. Of course, planning to be here maybe a little bit longer than I think. This is not where I normally live. I would normally stay with my parents when I'm at home in Australia, actually. The last 2 or 3 years I've been going home, I call it, to Moscow, Russia with my wife. I've been living with her there in the last few contracts. Contracts are things that we do when we work on ships. We work on board for so many months, typically 6, 7, 8 months, and then we go home for 2 or 3 months. So I've been flying back to Russia and then back to the ship and back to Russia again. But now I'm here in Australia because right now I don't actually have a full visa to stay in Russia. I had a business visa the last couple of years to travel back and forward, but that's now expired, so I just need to get a new one if I'm going to go back there. The way everything is at the moment, Russia is closed, the borders in and out are closed. Actually, the same with Western Australia. Australia, generally, there is borders open and you can fly in. Into Perth or into Western Australia, where I am, we can't. The local government has closed. They've done what's called a hard border close. So you can't fly into Western Australia technically right now. I'm not sure where you guys live, but yeah, let's have a look at the comments, shall we? So Belinda Boatwright, hello from Florida. How are you going? I've cruised out of Miami a lot. I was on Carnival Horizon in Florida prior to this contract on Dream. So yeah, the Horizon's still actually over there at the moment. Pamela Wiggins, hi. Hello, Russell. Pamela does respond to lots of videos, and I write lots of replies, and I've read a couple of comments in her videos, so that's pretty cool. Oh, up to 12 people watching, by the way. I don't know any other statistics, and 2 thumbs up. Let's see, hopefully we get only thumbs up. Maybe someone will put a thumbs down, I don't know. So let's see by the end of the video how that goes. Yeah, Pamela, hi Pamela. So Amy Rogers, what do you think of the CDC extending the pause to mid-July? Do you expect it? Did you expect it? Now, the one thing that's important with that is it's not announced by the cruise lines. It's announced by CDC, or Center for Disease Control, which kind of oversees the health and hygiene of the ships. I wasn't going to say safety, but health and hygiene of the ships. Yeah, this is not a cruise line mandated, I guess, pause, as I wrote, pause as well. That's what Carnival's kind of causing, a pause in operations. Yeah, it's kind of interesting because for now, Carnival's only announced, I think, until May 12, I think it was. I know it was from April till May. So yeah, 100, and that's 100 days, right, Amy? It's 100 day, just 3 months. So yeah, they've implemented quite a lot of policies and procedures. I've not read it entirely, but just briefly, which basically wants the cruise lines to create, I guess, policies and procedures to better handle, I guess, what's happened with some of the ships, namely Diamond Princess, Ruby Princess. Yeah, interesting. So I mean, look, I'm completely not in the knowledge of when things are going to start up and when they're going to go back. We were all basically taken by a little bit of a surprise about, you know, how quickly everything ended, how quickly everything sort of paused, and how quickly or how slowly now things are kind of happening. And the ships are basically just all, you know, frozen in time, if you like. Michelle Day says, glad you made it home safely. Hello from Illinois. Oh, Illinois. So you're up north there. Maybe it's a little bit colder. It's Chicago is Illinois, right? I know that. And isn't Chicago the Hand? I think it is, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yep. It's going to be very warm today, 9 a.m. here. Today actually is the 14th day of my isolation. Officially just after lunch today, which is about 3 hours from now. I'm technically off my self-isolation of 14 days. So big, I don't know, celebration. And I can go out and leave the house, leave basically the property that I'm in. I am actually going to go out and meet my mum. I have only met her from afar in the last 2 weeks and video chatted with her and things like that. I was just chatting to her before this. So I wonder if any friends or family might come online. There isn't lots of chat in the chat. So the more chats you guys can do and the more thumbs up. And of course, I can have things to talk about in the live. Yeah, so today actually marks 14 days. I got off the ship 2 weeks ago, Thursday. It took 2 days to get home, which made me arrive in Australia on the Saturday. And today is now 14 days since that Saturday when I arrived. So a few days have gone slow, a few days have gone fast. So yeah, I'm here now. I'll just put my hands down from the video there. I'll be in my Carnival Dream t-shirts, by the way. I don't know how it looks on the video, but I like the camera. I'm pretty sure the camera that's for YouTube, the webcam, of course, is a lot wider than it is for Facebook. So I really like this go live. I did a Facebook go live yesterday, and it wasn't as easy to navigate the menu of it, I guess. So yeah. Pamela Wiggins says, how many more days in isolation? Oh, all right. So I've kind of answered that question. I'm just reading them in order. I didn't read them ahead of time. So yeah, so today is the last day of my 14 days where I can't leave the house, can't leave the property. Today I'm going to go meet my mum, and we're going to actually go and buy a desk so that this computer right here, it may be over here on a desk over here in the lounge room. Once my wife comes to Australia, it probably won't be in the lounge room. This is actually a 3-bedroom house. So there is the main bedroom, I guess, where I'm sleeping. And then there's 2 other bedrooms. One's actually got a couple of beds in it, just mattresses, literally. There's very little furniture here. And then the 3rd bedroom has a wardrobe, and that's it. And that's probably going to be the computer room, I think, where I'm going to set up the computer and then have kind of an office sort of thing there. For now, I've just got my computer propped up on a DVD holder. The coffee table that I'm on in front of the TV here is actually too low down, so it's very difficult to sit here using the computer for long periods of time. So yeah, so today is the last day of my isolation, or what they're calling self-isolation. It's not mandated. The government has implemented for arrivals and people getting off the ships. Now, most of the ships are still one ship in Fremantle where you have to go into a government mandated isolation where you're actually going to hotels, or they took some people to an island, believe it or not, private island. So yeah, Jenny Powell says hi from Indiana. So yeah, I tried to time this. This is 9 p.m. Florida time, or East Coast, 8 p.m. Central, maybe 7 East. Because around about 80% of my viewers to the channel are from America or USA, I do a lot of things that focus around that. So that's pretty much why I'm doing it this time. If there's a whole lot of people from Australia watching, I would change it. If there was a whole lot of people from, I don't know, China. I don't know where they would be from. Antarctica. I change it to better suit the timing of when people could watch the videos. So hi from Indiana. Tony Aldorsi says hi. How you going? Vincent Soroletti, stay safe, stay healthy. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, since I got off the ship, of course, there's the 14-day isolation to try to basically curb the spread of the coronavirus or COVID-19. And they say that's the kind of the timing of where if you have it or haven't got it, you won't get it or got it. I don't know how to say it. Since I got off the ship, no problems at all health-wise. While I was on the ship, the Carnival Dream, basically everybody was healthy and happy. Nothing was wrong. I got off. I flew home, went through 3 airports. 4 airports, I guess, if I count my home airport, but I wasn't there very long. And I've sat through this 2 weeks at home here, basically a little bit bored. I've got Wi-Fi, I've got internet. One of the only things that I've done is I ordered a Wi-Fi router for the home, for this home. So I basically got that plugged in. It is a little bit precariously plugged in because I don't have anything in this house when I arrived here except my luggage. So my mum did actually bring me, or my dad, I guess, brought me 2 extension cords, which allowed me to plug in the computer to another extension to the modem, which is behind the sofa over here. Can't see it in the video, but so yeah, it's basically the only thing I've got set up is basically an unlimited internet plan. I have a SIM card on my phone, and I was using that to basically hotspot to my laptop. But now I'm just using the internet from the computer. So Tony also says, last cruise I was on the Horizon New Year 2020. Oh, cool. So you were on the New Year cruise on the Horizon. Yeah, I was on the Dream at that time. It's very cool. Did you probably go up on Lido Deck for the midnight countdown? And there's like thousands of people in the one place, right? Yeah, we basically went up there for that. And then we actually had a crew party in one of the lounges where they closed off a lounge for only crew members to basically have a party. For that midnight, they allow all crew up into public areas. So you'll see lots of general crew who don't have public area access to go up there. And they were there for that. So yeah, so 11 people still in the chat. So we're holding strong with 11 people. I'm sure the same people or not people, I don't know, people coming and going. Anybody wants to share this to any social media groups and things like that? What, I just see 6 thumbs up. That's kind of cool. I wonder, as I read up your comment, maybe you give it a thumbs up if you haven't already. So I did have a cruise schedule for July. I guess we will have to book it for later. Yeah, I mean, I don't watch a lot of TV here. I know on the ship we're a little bit simplified in the fact we've only got a few channels to watch. On the ship we had this CBS News. I only have free-to-air television here, so I do only really watch the 6 p.m. news, which is our main news bulletin every day in Australia. All the channels have a 6 p.m. news. And I really don't have the TV on a whole lot. I watch occasionally a TV show. I like to watch house renovating shows, by the way. Although I wouldn't know the first things to do in a house if I had to. But yeah, I mean, pretty much the cruise lines are going month to month, and as they've done in the last couple of months. I know the president of America, I guess Mr. Trump, he really wants America to get back to work and get businesses operating and running. Of course, we know he's a very big businessman and wants the country to basically get back to work and get back to normal. But I think it may extend a little bit longer than basically May coming up now. The death toll and the virus rate in America are very high compared to other countries. Percentage-wise, I know he always talks positive, but I don't know what figures he's looking at. But yeah, yeah. So maybe Tony, your July cruise may get put back. My parents actually did have a cruise booked for December. I don't know what ship they booked on. They came to visit the other day and just mentioned it, that they've cancelled that cruise as well. They were meant to be in Bali, Indonesia, basically that last week or the week before or this week. They've cancelled that as well, so they're basically on hold for their holidays. Um, Tony says again, okay, so I did have a cruise for July. Michelle Day says, yes, Chicago is in Illinois, but I live 2 hours south of there near the University of Illinois. Okay. Yeah, so it's always interesting, right, where people actually say the city they're from, but they're not from that city and they're from a town or suburb. In Australia, we call them suburbs. So I say Perth, Australia, but I don't live in Perth. The town I'm actually from is called Rockingham. Where I'm living right now is called Rockingham. Now, just a bit of a quirky thing, they call it Swinging Pig, Rockingham. I think isn't there a Rockingham? I think it's North or South, North Carolina, I think. But Rockingham here in the city of Perth. From here to the CBD of Perth, driving my car would be about 45 or 50 minutes. I'd say about 50 minutes drive from here. If I drove the car, literally less than 5 minutes, I'd be at the beach. I can walk to the beach. I've not done it yet because I've not left. I'm going to do that probably not today, maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure what time. We're going to go out about 1 p.m. this afternoon. So maybe I won't get down to the beach tonight, but tomorrow for sure in the morning, go to the beach. I'm about 12 or 14 minutes walk to the beach, so which is really cool. So this house is in a bit of an older suburb. Rockingham's a very big suburb, by the way. The most famous thing in Rockingham actually is probably the shopping center, Rockingham City Shopping Center, or Rocky City, if you guys want to learn more about where I live. I think that's probably the most famous thing in Rockingham that I know. Swinging Pig actually is the name of a pub right by the shopping center. So you actually go to the Swinging Pig. I don't think it's got another name. I think that's it. So yeah. Pamela says, Michigan is the Mitten you're thinking of, Russell. That's where I live, actually, by the way. It's 9:40 p.m. here. Yeah, I did look before I did the live, and I saw 9 o'clock for Florida time. I guess it's kind of similar, give or take. The time's a little bit past when I started sort of preparing to do this. So yeah, the Mitten, right? So it's not basically the hand, it's the glove, I guess. Mittens are the name of the gloves you wear in the snow. While I was in Moscow, I wore gloves a lot. So especially in the winter, I wore them. I had like these crazy, I bought some, they look like almost like hockey gloves. I bought some over with me from Australia, which were more like working gloves. And then my wife bought me these really neat ones for my birthday. They're like proper with straps on the sides, like proper gloves. The only problem with them is you can't do anything. You can't hold your camera. You can't go in your pockets for money. But they're really warm, like proper warm. Because a lot of times when she was working, I'd go out for the day into Moscow or into the center of Moscow and go walking everywhere, still even in the cold. And I would just, after an hour or two, I'd just be freezing. So these new gloves I got were amazing for that. So yeah. Cindy Dunn, how you going, Cindy? So yeah, if I don't say hello, maybe I did already, or I already know you guys from other chats. Cruising in August, hope we get to go from Oklahoma. Yeah, Oklahoma. So you're in the Midwest. Is it called Midwest, right? I feel like I know the places, but I don't. So, 17 viewers, by the way. This might be a record. This is right where it is right here. 17 viewers and 8 thumbs up. Thanks, everybody. If you guys like these, we can do them regularly. I could do them almost once a day at the moment, especially if I've got people writing things in the comments. If I can do the comments more than, if there's more comments than I can chat, that's perfect. There is actually the option, I don't ever want to promote people spending money or me making money if there's such a thing, but there is that is it called Super Chat? I do watch a few lives of other people. I watched just now Linus Tech Tips. Anyone knows Linus Tech Tips? He talks about computers a lot, and he had 10,000 people in his live chat. By the way, 10,000. The actual live chat is scrolling so quickly. There's like a slow mode, and then people are putting payments for questions answered. But anybody wants to do super chat, I guess you could. I have to, as part of that, I'd read the question out instantly rather than reading through the comments. I don't think we're getting a lot of comments to do that, but thank you though. Where was I going? I just went too fast now. Cruising in August. Yeah, so basically I wonder, Cindy, did you change your cruise to August, or was that a plan all along? I guess a lot of people that were cruising in, I guess, April, May, and now maybe got moved to June, July, August. Or has anybody basically moved their cruise maybe 6 months or a year in advance? Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, honestly, nobody knows. I think. At the time when it all happened, me and my work colleague Lawrence, if you guys watched the Go Live, we did a live, not really a live, a question and answer for the 6,000 subscriber celebration. We did a question and answer video. I also did the water slide video with Lawrence. So if you might be watching this, how are we going? Yeah, we talked about it a whole lot about how quickly it happened and who called who said what to who. And I know Donald Trump mentioned it a couple of times in TV press conferences about the cruise industry. And being that he is partly a Florida resident, I'm sure he has close connections with the CEOs and the presidents of the cruise lines. And I'm pretty sure it's only a few people that really know those ultimate answers. And they're very hesitant to mention when they're going to change the dates of future cruises, because there's a lot of thousands of people booked on cruises. There's a lot of logistics around rebooking the cruises, especially if you're got a ship with 3 and 4 day cruising versus 7 or 8 or 9 day cruising. It's very difficult to rebook. So they're very much at the whim of a few people that are making those decisions. So yeah, I guess it's very tough. Waldo 123987. Hello from Texas. Yeah, Texas. That was my last cruise ship. I was, of course, on the Carnival Dream. If you guys don't know, on out of Galveston, Texas. Yeah, I got off the ship. Yeah, it was kind of very weird because we were on board for, was it 9 or 10 days? I didn't count everyone was counting how many days we were basically quarantined, I guess. And then I got off the ship. There was only 12 of us that left the ship that day. We walked out to the parking lot, if anyone's been to Galveston, and there was one bus there with a bus driver, and that was it. There was nobody around anywhere. We got on the bus. We waited for a whole lot. I think he didn't realize how many people were cutting off the ship with us. We did a head count. We knew there was 12 people. And then we drove to Houston Airport, and the airport was just deserted. It was very, very strange. I flew United from Houston to LA, and that terminal where we initially got off at a different terminal. There was actually 2 people there to meet us when the bus arrived. Excuse me. The bus driver was in contact with a local Carnival shoreside employee, which I didn't realize at the time, but she was there to make sure we all got on our flights, that there was going to be no problems with us getting connecting flights. And if we had to go back to the ship and not board a plane, then she was there to help us out. Of course, my flight was scheduled and booked. When I got there to check in, I was the only one around. There was another lady. I remember seeing her. She was all like dressed up and doing check-in as well. And then that was it. Nobody. Now, if you guys have watched the video of me getting home, I did the video from being on the ship all the way to my house, effectively in the car at the very end. It was very eerie, especially at Houston Airport. There was a lot more workers than there was people, for sure. I mean, LA was a little bit busier. I walked through from where I arrived in United over to Tom Bradley, and it was a bit busier, but not the sort of the absolute hustle bustle that you always get at LA Airport when you fly through. So yeah. Where are we at there? Pamela, Waldo, Ralph Field, how are we going? Ralph, I know, again, you've done some comments in a lot of the videos, and I think we've chatted before on the lives here. Hello, from what I've read, all cruise ships will be banned from sailing U.S. territorial waters for 100 days from when it is published in the Federal Register. I'm not sure when it will be published. Oh, okay, so, I mean, I guess basically read that they've got that 100-day basically ban in place. I wasn't sure. I wasn't actually aware that it wasn't officially published, the start date and the end date. Yeah, it's sort of like, I think it's caught the cruise lines off guard a little bit, looking at just the general news and a lot of the news that I follow. I mean, I'm sitting here in a house in Australia. I'm not closer to everything going on in America, but yeah, it'd be interesting when and how that kind of works out and what the cruise lines can do. I'm pretty sure they're all going to have to come up with better plans, I guess, around illnesses and illness reporting. In Australia at the moment, we've got a lot of problems with now the Ruby Princess Originally, it was the Diamond Princess in Japan that had a lot of issues. Now we've got the Ruby Princess in Australia, and there's a criminal investigation because of the amount of deaths from that ship, and basically to find out who is to blame for ultimately letting the guests get off the ship and step on Australian soil. It's kind of the craziest part about it all. And who is the did the cruise lines report it? What did the cruise lines withhold? What information did the Australian government basically understand about what to do? So yeah, interesting. I don't know. I mean, it's crazy. Mercedes Rosario. Mercedes, how are we going? We met on a cruise on the Horizon. Hi from New York, on my way to work. Oh, I wonder if you're watching on your phone. I wonder. That'll be kind of interesting. I know while I was in Moscow and I took the bus and then the metro into the city a lot, I was always watching YouTube videos on my phone. I always took my headphones and I could watch. I'd have about up to an hour trip each way. And I could use my phone a lot to watch videos while I was going to and from Moscow. So yeah, I'm doing well, by the way. I've got no illnesses, no ailments, pretty much exactly how I was when I was on the ship and when I got off. I'm very a lot of hands today, sorry. And yeah, I'm perfectly fine. I'm just ready to get out of the house today and go somewhere and drive the car and see how quiet it is. This is Easter weekend, which is traditionally a very busy weekend in Australia. And it's very warm today. Today is going to get up to 37 Celsius, which is just about 100 Fahrenheit. And this would be a day where a lot of people would go to the beaches, would go to parks, have barbecues, friends over, and their governments essentially said, stay home, don't do anything, don't go anywhere, and try and basically live your life in a little bit of isolation to basically, are they calling it flattening the curve? I think that's the word that they're using. So, oh, there's lots of questions. Oh no, there's not lots. Oh, maybe I'm just scrolling too quickly. Yeah, so Mercedes, yeah, from New York. Yeah, New York. I mean, honestly, the amount of news I'm seeing about New York and what's going on there, and almost they're calling it the epicenter of the COVID-19 situation. Very bad situation. I mean, I feel very sorry for anybody that's got anybody involved in it or people that are working in healthcare. Amazing, amazing work that you guys are doing. Sorry if I'm not looking at the camera, which is up here. I'm kind of looking at myself. I should really look at the camera more directly. So I hope this is okay the way I'm doing it. Yeah, it's just amazing, the statistics. And then they're talking a little bit there about the amount of general deaths in New York. So there's like 150 per day of people who just die of whatever ailments. And that number of general deaths has increased, but they're not amounting it to the COVID-19 crisis. And whether people are dying at home, not have gone to a hospital or not reported what ailments they have. Very crazy. So Ralph says, or if CDC seems it not to be a major health problem. Yeah, CDC basically is, okay, if you guys really don't follow cruise ships, Center for Disease Control, they're the ones that basically control the health and hygiene of ships. They have the checking of the ships, basically the galleys. They come on board and do a lot of hygiene checks of the ships and basically even go through all the reporting in the medical center. And I mean, the criteria are very specific, and the points that they can gain and lose from checking is just incredible. Whether or not the cruise line, I mean, I guess CDC and the cruise lines and the government's going to have to come to some sort of agreement on everything. Just who knows when. Mike P, hello from Canada. Oh, up north. How are you going, Canada? I'm wondering if maybe you were yesterday on the Facebook Live. Yeah, this is a YouTube Live. I plan to do one of each, see which one is a little bit easier to do. For me, the YouTube Live is a lot easier because I can read the comments easier. I can see how many people are in the chat. There's 13 now, and there's 10 thumbs up. So yeah, it was wild. So hello from Canada. Yeah, how are you going? Hopefully it's not too cold. I've got a few friends that are at home in Canada now, and it's very interesting to follow everyone that's got off the ship and not posting photos at the beach, in the ports, what they're doing, and they're all either stuck on a ship or at home stuck in their house. It's kind of interesting to see that difference in the social media postings. Tony says it was wild. I loved it. I'm a little bit behind now. What we got with the questions. Waldo says last cruise was Vista in January from Galveston. Looking at one on the Dream for later this year to complete our Dream class trifecta. Oh, that's kind of cool, Waldo. You want to do the Dream class? So it's Vista Dream. I've kind of had a mind blank. Vista Dream. So it's not the Horizon, is it? Horizon Vista Dream. Is that right? The 3 ships in the trifecta. That's interesting. I guess the fact that you can cruise in Texas is really convenient for you. Sorry, my eye is itchy. That's kind of cool that some people are going for statistics to go on all of the same class of ships or cruise out of all the ships out of that port of call. I guess it's convenience of where you live, right? So Jenny says, so do you live on the ships for months? You're contracted to promote Carnival. Okay, Jenny. I work for a private retailer that operate the shops on cruise ships, namely on Carnival Cruise Line. The company's called Starboard Cruise Services. It's basically a concession partner of the cruise line. Ultimately, they're owned by Louis Vuitton, LVMH. And then we work contracts. We get hired by them. They're based in Florida. And then they send us or basically allocate us to a ship. We're not on all Carnival ships. We're on 9 ships only at the moment. There is other companies that operate the shops also on Carnival. We work for 6 months, and then we go home for generally 2 or 3 months vacation. And then we'll come back on another contract for another 6 months. She says there, you're contracted to promote Carnival. I'm not contracted to promote Carnival. In terms of the way I answer questions, I'm very much positive about the cruise industry. I love working on ships. I love making videos. I love posting on, I have a website, ilikecruiseships.com, the Facebook page, which is where everything kind of started, and now YouTube, which has branched out a whole lot in terms of me doing a lot of videos in the ports, and now, of course, personal vlogs, I guess. The YouTube channel that you're watching wasn't really intended to be a vlog channel about me, although a lot of people are very much me in videos if you do watch them. I think that's the kind of love of YouTube, right? You become a little bit attracted to the characters that are in the videos and the way they talk and come across, or you watch them for information, right? You want to know about a place or a thing or a time. I wonder what everybody's last video they watched on YouTube was. Maybe you can mention that in the comments. What was your last video before this video, I guess? I'm not promoting Carnival in terms of the, book a cruise, go on a cruise, you need to spend money. That's not my intention at all. Basically, I Like Cruise Ships. The Facebook was basically where I could get news and information across that I know. Obviously, working on the ship is very difficult without having a live internet and sitting at my computer. Like I could sit here 23 hours a day, 24 hours a day, and constantly create news or basically post news that becomes news. And I'm not probably doing it enough while I'm sitting here, but the intention is that I could do this from home. What I'd really like to do is do basically like a news bulletin style video, like a 10-minute news bulletin, and say, this is the news, this. If anybody thinks that's an interesting idea, let me know. I always want feedback about things. So I'm not promoting Carnival. I guess that's like a disclaimer I guess I've got to put. I think just the fact that we all like and love, I like cruise ships, I love cruise ships. So Jenny says, I'm booked on the Horizon June 27th. I haven't received a cancellation yet. Yeah, look, I think the cruise lines, I don't know, but I think they're pretty much going day to day in terms of what they know, what they can say, what they can do. The logistics and the forward planning is just beyond, I think, anybody can imagine, about, where the ship is, what they need to do to get the crew members who have gone home back to the ships. you know, even just having the food and beverage and everything loaded for the ship to continue its operations and what food or beverage they have on board now. And then just getting everybody in place, make sure all the port of calls are ready and open, make sure all the excursions are available, make sure the islands are accepting ships. I mean, some ships, some islands in the Caribbean have closed to as well, like basically closed their borders as well. So, yeah, Horizon was the ship I opened in Europe, and then we did the crossing to New York and then down to Miami. So yeah, I've still got friends on there. I still see photos of them posting while they're on board now, basically stuck. One girl on there, Kate, she's from Mauritius. Mauritius has closed its borders, so she can't get on or off the ship or do anything, go home. So interesting, somebody from Mauritius, right, working on ships. Melody M says, hello from Tennessee. Melody, how you going? Do I know anybody from Tennessee? So I've got a friend in Kentucky that works on ships, who lives in Kentucky now. She was a Camp Carnival kids club staff, and she married actually a bartender who was from Bali, Indonesia, and then they live now together. They got 2 kids. They live the life on land, everything happy. She's now actually doing a nursing degree, and she's now basically, I think she's a couple of years into her nursing degree, and now I'm going to say she's struggling a little bit because she's gone from doing classes and work, and then now she's having to do stuff online. I guess it's very difficult to make that shift to online everything from not being online. So Mercedes says, maybe you can make a video from the beach. Absolutely, Mercedes. Probably not today. Because I've got plans to go shopping today and buy things that I need for the house. I need to get a phone cable. I need to buy food to make food. My mum said as of today, basically, that's it. You're on your own now. She's not going to bring food over. Hope she does, home cooked food. So, yeah. So absolutely, I'm going to make a video going to my local beach. I don't think I made one before. When my wife was here last year, unfortunately, I didn't make any videos. She doesn't like me in the videos at all. It's such a shame because if you watch my videos from Bali and Gili Air is a place. She's in a lot of the videos there, but she just doesn't like to be in them, which I wish I married someone that wants to be in YouTube videos. Sorry, Jen. But that would be perfect. If my wife could actually be in the videos and want to edit them and do that part of the YouTube, then I could just make the videos. We'd be the perfect couple, but I have to do every part of it, so that's all right. Yeah, so for sure. John Cook says, hi from New Orleans. Yeah, interesting. Yesterday, my friend who's on Carnival Valor, I did post that video, right, of the ships passing in the Mississippi. I'm not sure if I didn't check today if she's still docked there, but the Valor came into New Orleans to drop off crew members. The ships are having to basically go out to sea for a few days and go back into port. They're trying to get crew members home on charter flights. The cruise lines are not allowed now to fly crew members domestically in the US. So they're actually, which kind of makes a little bit of sense. They're basically chartering private airlines to fly their crew members home. I think the flight was going to Indonesia, to Bali or Jakarta. And they've done that for Filipinos as well, where they're flying crew members home. And I think the crew members got off the ship in New Orleans. I think a few cruise ships basically bring their crew members together to go on the same flights, is what I understand. So yeah, she was Carnival Valor was docked in New Orleans yesterday. I didn't check if she's still there today or not. That's Lauren, by the way. How we're going? If you might be watching the videos, I've got a shout out to everybody, right? Everyone gets a shout out on this channel. So Michelle Day says, yeah, I agree, Mercedes. I would love to see the beach there. Yeah, where I live, the beach is so close. It's a very quiet beach. I'm sure it's busier now than normal because we're allowed to go out. We're allowed to exercise. The government's very cautious for this weekend for Easter because it's a huge beach weekend. And the fact that today is 37 degrees, probably a few more hours, it'll warm up a bit more. Everybody wants to go out, and that whole social distancing thing. So very typically Rockingham Beach, it's a very family-friendly beach. It's a beautiful spot, by the way. They've just done a huge remodel of the park area right by the beach. what I'll do. I might do a full walk around of the new Rockingham beach area. I'm sure people in Australia might want to watch that video too. So yeah, kind of can't wait to make that video going down there. Just the fact that it's close to my house and I can walk there versus having to drive there where I was staying with my parents. Where my parents live, we say it's a long way away. It's only 15 more minutes drive. So for people that live inland or Midwest and things like that, maybe not near beaches. Becky Gross deleted her message. Oh, there's more. Oh, there's more chats here. So I'm a little bit behind. Oh, I've gone too fast. Have I? Yeah, Becky Gross. Have a good night. Got to go work now. Mercedes, yeah, catch you later if you've gone or not. Good evening from the USA. Purvis 1993. How are we going? I know that I'll go a little bit faster, shall I? Sorry if I talk fast, by the way. 14 people watching. Oh, 13 people watching. Oh, someone left. Maybe you're waiting for me to say goodbye. And 12 thumbs up. That's really great, by the way. Good evening, Purvis. I know also you reply to a lot of the comments in the videos. So yeah, thanks. Jamar Bruce, I've been seeing the ships go back to the port a lot lately from Galveston. Do they do that to restock food and beverage? Okay, so food and supplies. So the 9 or 10 days that I was on the ship when we came in and out of Galveston, I know that there was nobody on or off, no employees on or off. The only people that could work, I'm going to say the word off the ship, was the deck and maintenance guys that were doing exterior work to the ship. So basically they were still in the compound of the terminal, and then they basically have these cherry pickers that they could do maintenance on the windows and the hull of the ship. I know the previous cruise before, when it all finished, they got their heavy loading. Typically they're not getting loading every 4 and 5 days. They get it every 9 days, and they get less loading one week, more loading the next. And the ship was full at the time when everything kind of stopped. I know I had to go down to my liquor storeroom a few times to do inventory and tidying up and rearranging, and those storerooms were stacked. Now, the guy that was where my liquor storeroom is, it's where the dry provisions are kept. They've got for storage, for cold storage, frozen, bakery, dairy, fish, cheese, everything separated. And the guy in there was just, you know, the amount of stuff he had, and then the different things that they issue when it's guests on board versus crew. For instance, the ice cream cones, they issue thousands a day when it's a normal cruise. And with the crew members on board, they're not eating as much ice cream cones. So you had just pallets of ice cream cones stacked up. So yeah, I know they were not basically receiving stock and normal deliveries. They still have a schedule of when the trucks would leave Florida to get to Galveston and so forth. I would imagine they basically limited the need to stock the ships with food, and the certain food, particularly for the passenger areas, versus what crew members would eat. So the time that I was on there, I know for sure there was no deliveries or received items brought on and off. But other than after that, I don't know. I'd imagine they're still going to have to get things, but probably in smaller amounts. So whoever those suppliers are, they're probably struggling as well. Imagine I'm going to say thousands or millions of dollars worth of stock versus now, sorry, we don't need them, don't send them. Yeah, Purvis says it was published in the Register on March 14, 2020, so it could be June 22nd. Okay, so yeah, that 100-day timing, I guess people have worked that out if the cruise lines have to basically extend their pause in operations. Yeah, I've not looked at it in absolute detail. It's very difficult, especially with my website, to post news that isn't, I like to post news, or especially press releases from the cruise lines, as that is the news. I don't want to speculate and post anything that's not truthful without having basically a reason behind what I post. I do have ethics, I guess you could say. Melody M says, I was hoping to go on the Sunshine in August. Yeah, so June, July, August. Yeah, so I guess those months later, I guess a lot of people's cruises are booked around their holidays, their vacations, school holidays. Yeah, I guess it's just tough, the timing of all this. Sean and KC on vacay mode, cruise reviews and more. That's a long YouTube channel name. Oh, I forgot what to say now. Hello, y'all. Maybe you guys are from the South, maybe Texas, maybe New Orleans, I wonder, or Alabama. Just Sean and KC on vacation mode. Just a little personal thing. I'm not going to criticize anything that anybody does or says because I don't do that. If you're looking to do YouTube and you want to make it simpler, shorten your YouTube title or your name of your channel. Even when I say to people, look up "I like cruise ships," people think it's one word versus "I like cruise ships." And also people go, "I love cruise ships." No, it's "I like cruise ships." Especially when I tell crew members to look up my channel and things like that. So yeah, that's a long YouTube. Maybe that's just your own thing. You're not doing anything. You just post your own videos. I don't know if you guys know, if you look at the chat, you can actually, I think if you're watching a video now, you can actually right click on the little dots and you can open their channel if they've got a channel and it's got stuff on there. So Becky Gross says, just booked Vista in August, never been on her. Yeah, Vista is the ship that the Dream docks on Saturdays with. Today's Saturday, actually, I guess time difference, in Galveston. So on that day, actually, the Dream goes to the second pier in Galveston, and then the Vista has the first pier. So we don't generally see them in the morning because it's early when we dock, but in the evening, we generally come out the port first and pass them, and they're still docked. I guess there's like an allocated time of departure. One big difference, Vista, I guess, has the sky ride and ropes course and things like that, whereas the Dream doesn't. A lot of the Vista, Horizon, Panorama is the other, I guess you could call it Dream class ship. They've got a lot more features added later. Each time they build another ship, they add more features here and there. So, and we're up to 20 viewers, by the way, if that's correct. 13 thumbs up. Sorry, I'm just catching that in my corner of my eye. Hello, from Houston, Texas. Oh, Sean and KC, you're in Houston. Yeah, now 2 weeks ago, Thursday, is when I got off the ship in Galveston and we'd made the bus trip. If you watched the video about me going home, maybe you guys have watched it, maybe not. You can look it up in the channel, I guess. Houston Airport was just empty. The only thing that I regret not doing, being out of Galveston, and I looked it up on the bus trip while we were going to the airport, was to go to Buc-ee's. And I noticed the Buc-ee's on the highway there as we were going to the airport. And my roommate and I, Lawrence, shout out to him again, we did have a plan of getting an Uber to Buc-ee's and then an Uber back to the ship. It was like $20 each way. But we want to go there. We see so many people wearing clothes and lanyards and talk about this place like there's nowhere else to eat in Texas. But I should have gone to Buc-ee's, but I didn't. I'm sorry. When we went past, somebody said to me, it's like a huge gas station with a huge restaurant. And when we go past it quickly, yeah, it was just how big it is just crazy. So Becky Gross says, what is Port Canaveral terminal process like? How is it navigating it? Port Canaveral is a Florida-based cruise terminal. Now, I was only on a ship 2 or 3 years ago there. It's actually very easy. Port Canaveral, most people fly into Orlando. Now, what's important is Orlando Airport and Port Canaveral is about 45 minutes to an hour apart. It's not that you get off a plane in Orlando and then just jump on a ship in Port Canaveral. It's quite a distance that you have to basically make a plan of how you're going to get from the airport to the cruise terminal. A lot of people stay in Cocoa Beach. Port Canaveral is actually where the port is. It's also the same place or very close to where the NASA or Kennedy Space Center is, and where they have the shuttle launches. But a lot of people would stay in hotels in Cocoa Beach, which is probably 15 minutes away. But the distance from the cruise terminal to the airport is kind of a factor where you're not willing to cut time short and fly in the morning of, fly in the day before, get yourself to the hotel, and that morning then a nice easy trip to the port. The port is very spread out, by the way. It's not ship. It's basically terminals that are spread out. So where Royal has their ships, where Disney has their ships, where Carnival has their spaced out. And then there's kind of big parking garages if you were to park at the port. One thing that a lot of people like to do is work out hotels in Cocoa Beach area or Port Canaveral area where you could maybe rent a car or drive to Port Canaveral, leave your car at the hotel, and then the hotels have a free shuttle to and from the hotel to the ship, and then the ship back to the hotel to pick up your car. And you can actually book a night at the hotel, leave your car for your cruise 4, 5, 7 days, and then pick up your car on the way home, and then only pay for the hotel stay. It's kind of interesting, right? I think that's a bit of a sneaky thing or a tip. I think everybody might know it or may not. But for me, it's a very easy terminal to navigate. It's basically a main highway that goes from Orlando, which is almost the middle of Florida, to come to the coast to where Port Canaveral is. And then once you get there, there's nice, easy signage about this is the terminal for this ship, this is for this ship. And then it's not multiple ships next to each other, like in Miami, for instance, where it can get very congested because everyone bottlenecks into that one port there, where it's called Dodge Island, the port in Florida. So I hope that answers that question. Ooh, 15 likes, more likes than people now, so that's kind of good. Waldo says Dream, Magic, and Vista. There we go. Dream, Magic, and Vista is the Dream class ships, and then there we go. So that's kind of interesting. Thanks everybody for filling this in. I see now in the next few questions. Dream, Magic, and Vista, and then Horizon and Panorama. I guess a Horizon class, and then Mardi Gras will be Mardi Gras class. Vincent, Waldo. Dream class cruise ships include Dream, Magic, and Breeze. Dream, Magic, and Breeze. You guys correcting each other in the chat. That's fine. Guys, do that in the chat if you like. Sean and KC said we celebrated our 10-year anniversary on Carnival Vista in February. Ooh, happy anniversary. I just had 2-year anniversary with my wife from when we got married. We got married in Moscow, Russia, by the way. I'm not sure the plan. She's going to come here now. We may work out getting married here, I guess more for documentation and paperwork. I need to look into, can we register our wedding in Russia as a wedding in Australia? I'm not too sure yet. So yeah, 10-year anniversary. My parents are on, I'm going to have to ask my mum today, 45 years. I wonder if she wants to come and do a video with me right here. That would be interesting, right? We'd have to be 1.5 meters apart, right? Social distancing. Yeah, happy anniversary. It's a big deal, right, to go on your anniversary cruise. Pamela says Breeze is the 3rd Dream class ship. Yeah, so I'm not gonna get mixed up now. Vista, Horizon, Panorama, right? Vista, Horizon, Panorama, Dream. Oh my gosh, Dream, Magic, Vista. There we go. It gets confusing very quickly if you're not there. Melody M says Becky, gross. I've been out of Port Canaveral and it went very smoothly. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Because it's very spread out, the terminals. You're not all driving into one road, into one entrance to go to multiple ships. So yeah, I agree with that completely. Where are we at? Oh, I've gone too far. There's more questions now. Oh, this super chat thing. If you guys want to get the next question read out. No, just kidding. I'm just curious if someone could ever do it just to see how the super chat works. I watch some like this Linus Tech Tips, and the amount of super chats that people are posting is just crazy. They must be earning thousands. I don't know. I'm not earning thousands at all. I wish. Oh, I've gone too fast now. Sean says, I'm going to read it in order. There was a cruise creator collab I watched before this video. Oh, you watched a cruise creator collab. So you watched a video with multiple ship YouTube channels that made a video. That's kind of cool. I don't watch too many, to be very honest, I don't really watch too many other YouTubers that make videos on cruise ships because I don't want to feel like I'm looking and copying or checking what they're doing for ideas. Personally, I watch a lot of things that are not related to cruise ships. Sean says they were sending their love to all the first responders. They titled it, "We Are All in This Together." Yeah, we're all in this thing together. That's a big thing on the local news here in Perth as well. Each of the news, I only really, to be very honest, I'm not going to say I watch TV 23 hours a day. I don't. I'd rather have my computer on and do things with my computer. I find YouTube very interesting and very personal on a lot of the videos where you're watching their channel for what they do. And then this whole we're all in this together thing is a big theme in Perth as well on the TV. And the whole stay home thing, like you're noticing from the UK, stay home. Yeah, that's a big thing. And a lot of the TV stars and news stars are doing like phone selfie videos from their house, which I find kind of interesting to see all the famous people with where they are in their house filming and what's in their background. When Prince Charles did a video, somebody called out the books in his bookshelf behind where he's sitting. People really, that's social media, right? Where people really take to that. Purvis says, Carnival should pay you every time I watch one of your videos, make me want to book a new one. Right, yeah, no, I wish that would be the case. One thing that's interesting, when I was on Horizon and they did a lot of the press things, Purvis's question, kind of here question, they did invite the traditional press to come to the ship launches, and then they invite social media and social media influencers from the cruise industry to come and do the launches of the ships as well. Oh, is the light getting brighter and darker there? I guess maybe the clouds. Oh no, so the smiling doesn't change. And it's interesting that the cruise lines bring social media influencers as media to the ships, because of course people promote the cruise ships because they came on the cruise and I love this, I didn't like this, I like this. And I would love to do that. That was actually one of my previous plans a long time ago, if I came home, to basically ask to go on some ships to make videos. Interesting, while I was in Russia, I'll just give you a little tidbit here. I sent a message to a couple of cruise lines that were having ships out of St. Petersburg. And I got replies back, interestingly, from them saying, yeah, please come. You can spend the day on board. We're going to have travel agents visit that day, and you can come on board as media and do basically a day visit of the ship in St. Petersburg. Now, of course, from Moscow to St. Petersburg, it's 3 hours by high-speed train. But I was kind of making a plan to try to go there for a day or two, to literally go visit a couple of ships and do a walk around. There was one of the cruise lines, I don't remember who now, who was going to have a travel agent day, and they were going to have a lunch. They were going to have a walk around, a guided walk around of the ship. They were going to have a question and answer with the ship's management. So if I could work that out, ooh, amazing. If I could get invited to any cruises, amazing. I don't know how I can work it into a business, though, and make money, because my wife would kill me if I spent money to fly to a cruise and didn't make money back from it. So I don't know. I guess I have to set up a business, and I don't know, business expense of flying to the cruises. Yeah, so Christine Manuel says, morning, Russell, great to see you. Oh, thanks. Yeah, interesting, the difference with, of course, YouTube followers and people who like my channel who are here versus me doing the Facebook Live yesterday. Facebook has 25,000 likes. Not necessarily everybody's following the page daily, and I don't announce that I'm doing a go live. I should do that, so you could schedule to be here and know what time and how many people are waiting. I'm just very bad with doing that. I literally decide half an hour earlier, check what time it is, go live, and here I am. So yeah. John Cook says all the ships sitting in Mobile, Gulfport, and New Orleans sent crew to New Orleans airport for a couple of charter flights out yesterday. Yes, my friend who was on the Valor mentioned that to me. I think it was about 300 people. Yeah, is it Vamos airline? Because I had to look this up, because the Victory, which is in Europe, in Spain, in Cadiz, sent crew members home, and it's an Ethiopian airline that basically is doing private charters, where they're doing point-to-point flights at that price. That's the cost for the airport, for the ship, for the plane, sorry. Not cheap, I don't think, either, and then there's very limited service on those flights as well. There's no meal service as such. The crew members, if you might have seen a photograph, they had almost like paper bags that they were walking off with, which is like a meal service for them to bring onto the planes. So the buses were literally going on the tarmac. They were getting on the plane and leaving. So yeah, I think the Valor was in Gulfport, and then they came to New Orleans. Yeah, this John basically explaining what happened there. So Sean and Casey, thanks for the advice. Yeah, about Port Canaveral. I think that's what you're asking about. I'm reading this in order. I'm not going quicker than what it says. I don't skip over things, so I'm sorry. Ramiro Robledo, hello from Corpus Christi, Texas. Ramiro Robledo. Sorry. Corpus Christi, yeah, another Texas viewer. I guess maybe you've come on the cruise on the Dream and maybe liked my channel from that. I wonder how you, maybe you've looked up a Carnival Dream video and you liked and subscribed to the channel. Yeah, a lot of Texas viewers. That's kind of cool. Sean says, yes, you have to go to Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's is the largest gas station in the world. Wow. I wonder which one is the largest one. Is it a certain one in Texas? That's exciting to go to the largest in the world. I'm always, when we're selling liquor in the store, we always talk about the cheapest price on the planet, the lowest price in the world. Lawrence and I would always make these, like, where the two of us work together so well, we'd always make these things about, this is the largest bottle in the world, this is the biggest on the planet. And I'm all into that biggest in the world thing. So if there's any kind of world first thing that I can find out, maybe I can do that in Perth. I wonder if there's like in Australia, we've got a lot of these largest lobster, largest, like a display model, largest cat or something, or largest violin in the world in a certain town. So, Sean says we actually made maybe you've got a video on your channel. We actually made a video of Buc-ee's when we visited the gas station. It's huge. Oh, I'm gonna have to look up your channel after this now. Oh my gosh. Fox in Time. I've been wondering what position you have on the ship to allow you to be a part of Horizon's startup. Yeah, so I work in the onboard shops. If you haven't watched the video from the beginning or watched other videos, I work for the duty-free company that operate the shops on board the cruise ships. So yeah, I did a lot of videos on the Horizon, if you've watched the channel. A lot of videos I did there were very not scripted, were not edited very well, were every video I learn and get better if you are watching the channel. Of course, there is people that are just professionals about how they film, how they record, how they edit. Oh, excuse me. And I'm not. I'm getting better. I'm very truthful and honest. I'm getting better. I'm looking right at the camera now. Yeah, so basically part of the startup is each department on the ship has a time where they would, or a date they would join the ship based on the ship's construction schedule. So for the shops, we came, I'm going to say about almost 3 weeks earlier in Italy. The ship was being built in Italy. We flew. I was actually in Russia, so I was very lucky. I only had a few-hour flight from Moscow to Venice. I actually had a direct flight to Moscow to Venice direct. And then they meet you at the airport and bring you to the ship. We actually went to the shipyard company's office first to get our IDs to go in and out of the shipyard. And then I was there for almost 3 weeks before we did the first cruise out of Barcelona, Spain. So yeah, I work in the onboard shops. I work for the duty-free company operating the shops on board. So we're part of the ship's crew, but we're not directly hired by the cruise line. That makes sense. Melody M says again, thank you for the vlog about the Portimaya port. It helped a lot when I went there back early March. Yeah, I did it's a very long video that's like 1 hour, and I didn't realize how long it was till I got to the end. And then I made a separate video about the secret shop there in Portimaya as well. And then there's also a video that I did later about catching a taxi at the Portimaya port. So yeah, if you've watched other videos, I do notice when I watch other videos, people promote themselves a lot. I don't do that. I guess you've got to find videos or search for them yourself. Yeah, I was, now the crazy thing was the Dream just switched from doing Cozumel Progresso to doing Cozumel Costa Maya. And we only made one stop. We did a previous cruise where we didn't stop because the weather was too rough to dock. And then the cruise that we got off, the last one, we went there and I did a walk around. I scoped it out. And I said, oh, next week I'm going to make the video and finish filming the video. Because when we were there that day, there was 2 ships in and it was very busy with people. And I didn't feel comfortable not knowing where to walk to make the video. So I didn't finish it. Yeah, trip reviews, how are we going? Hi from Canada. Trip reviews has also replied to a lot of questions in my other videos, and I am trying to get through every single comment on every single video, but it's very hard. I was surprised at Canaveral when I was there as a port stop on the Carnival Pride and how many people excursion to Disney World. A long ride for sure. Yeah, you can do cruises out of Baltimore and I think New York, Boston, and it stops in Port Canaveral. And then the natural shore excursions would be to probably go to Cocoa Beach, would be go to Kennedy Space Center, and then go to Universal or Disney. And yeah, it's probably an hour each way. I think the ships stay a little bit later, like 6 or 7 in port that day. Yeah, you wouldn't get a lot of hours at the theme park if you're doing a cruise and making that a port stop. You'd literally an hour there, how many hours at the theme park, and then the bus back. You'd have a meeting time to come back. Yeah, it would be very short. I know I've been to Orlando and done a week there, and I would do from open to close timing of at the parks, and I'd be literally there early before the gates open, be the last out. And I remember that last time I was there, I did Universal on the last day, and I had the fast pass day, and I could barely walk, and I literally got out the exit from the park, and the plan was to catch the public bus home to the hotel. And I'm like, I can't be bothered. Let me get a taxi. Let me pay the price for the taxi rather than the public bus. I could hardly walk from the amount of walking every day you do at the parks. Yeah, so Melody M says to get to the taxi stand to go to Mr. Sancho's. Yeah, I did the part of the full terminal walk around. I showed the taxi stand, and then I did a separate video just on how to catch a taxi to go to a place like Mr. Sancho's, Paradise Beach. I've been there twice now, Paradise Beach, in videos. Sean says, happy 2-year anniversary. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it really be very weird. My wife is the one that's telling me the dates and times and places of things that we do. And I'm very bad at remembering, remember more things about the ships and where I am in ports than my personal life, because when you're on the ship, your life is almost switched off for that time frame, and you kind of lose that direct contact of what someone's doing, when they're doing it, what time they're doing it. Yeah, Pamela says, been fun until next time, good night. Yeah, it's obviously getting late for a lot of people. We might go a little bit longer. I'll read down until I run out of comments. You guys are going to keep typing, I think, for me to keep reading comments. And then we might end the video. We're just past an hour now already, and there's down to 8 people watching, so people are slowly going to bed, I guess. Need to be a little bit earlier next time, I think, right? Yeah, thanks, Pamela. See you in another video, or from the comments that you guys write. Our dream trip to a cruise out of Australia. Oh, is a cruise out of Australia and adventure the Outback. Yeah, so the Carnival Spirit and Splendor for Carnival Cruise Line is in Australia right now. They're actually making arrangements today, literally, to transfer the crew from ship to ship off the coast of Queensland. The ships were all out of Sydney. Australian government has asked the ships to leave Australian waters. So they've gone up the coast to Queensland. They're going to transfer crew from one ship to the other. They did actually do a news post about this. And the ships are going to go up to Bali, Jakarta, Manila, Philippines, and drop the crew members off and send them home, I guess. Yeah, so yeah, the Outback is inland from where you get on and off the ship. So if you are going to take a cruise, you'd have to maybe take a longer time, maybe a few weeks holiday down here. Don't come for, I don't know, a few days. You would not see nothing. And the first 2 or 3 days, you'll be overrun with jet lag, for sure. We love going to Mr. Sancho's. Taxi ride is pretty cheap to get to Sancho's. Yeah, to Paradise Beach is $15. I think Sancho's is $17, wasn't it? I think. I've not done a video going to Mr. Sancho's. I did send them a kind of a question on Facebook about, can I come? Can I make a video? I like to be polite and check ahead of time. And they were asking too many information about my channel, about analytics, who watches my videos, what country they're from. I thought, you know what? I'm not going to make a video. I'm not going to come if you're going to be particular about it. So I didn't make the video there. Also, thanks for the video to Paradise Beach, beautiful pool area. How was the staff in the food? I think I saw you with a burger. Yeah, so the second video I made with Lawrence in it, that was a plan that we were going to go there that day. And I really built up Lawrence about how great the place was. The first video I made of I think it was a year or so back, was when I went alone, and it was much quieter. There was also less ships in port that day. If you go on a port day when there's 5 or 6 or 7 ships in port, it can be much busier. The burger was great. I'm a very big burger eater. I mean, I won't say it was amazing. It was, remember, we're going to Mexico, so Mexico is not famous for burgers versus having nachos or tacos or quesadillas. Oh, my back is a little bit sore. Sorry, I'm going to lean back a little. I'll just put this a little bit back so I can do that. Yeah, it's not amazing burgers, but they're really good. I do enjoy eating burgers anywhere I go. I'm now going to lean forward. Sorry. Yeah, it was just a little bit busy that day that we went. It probably doesn't show it in the video as much. We didn't stay a long time that day there. When I went, I stayed for the whole day. I basically swam in the pool, just chilled out, didn't do a whole lot. But when I was with Lawrence together there, we were chatting a lot. We were talking about everything and everything, not really about, you know, how cool Paradise Beach was. A lot of people obviously go there for the all-inclusive, so they eat a lot, they drink a lot, they party a lot. Probably Paradise Beach is less partying and more family and kids and people in groups hanging out. Yeah, I won't rave about the burger there, but it was good. I mean, all food off the ship's good when you're not eating on the ship for lunch that day. So I found that secret shop and got to go there. Oh, Melody said she went to the secret shop. Yeah, it's kind of interesting because other crew members, when I talk about it, oh, okay, that shop. Okay, they're like, they didn't know that it existed and know that it's around the back of the toilets there. And then before I did that video, I watched a video about things to make your videos more popular. And one thing is talking about the same things as your title. And if you watch back that video, I talk about secret shop, secret shop, secret shop. And somebody mentioned, you say, how many times did you say the word secret shop? And one of the keys for the Google Analytics and YouTube algorithm is about you talking about the title of your video in your video, obviously. So, we're nearly at the end of the comments. We might go then for a few more minutes because I see less people are watching. I guess you guys are happy about the go live and how interesting it is and the questions answered. It is making it a lot easier for me to answer people's questions than it is me just talking. I can easily just talk away. It's now 10:44 in the morning, so it's good time for me now. I can get a shower, get changed, and I'm out of isolation. I don't know what time my flight arrived. I wonder if that 14 days to the minute is important or not. I wonder if they're going to ever change going to Cozumel to something else to change it up a bit. Yeah, that's obviously the convenience of the ships out of the Gulf of Mexico area. So New Orleans, Galveston, Tampa, Mobile. What I'm going to find interesting is, because I saw that in social media, that the ships went out of using Gulfport as a place to dock the ships. And I wonder if Carnival's got a little bit of an interest in bringing ships out of Gulfport, Mississippi. I'm not sure what facilities they had there, but yeah, there isn't many other places in the region that you can cruise to. Obviously, people love the Cozumel stop. That's why it's convenient to go there on a 4 or 5 day cruise. Of course, you can still go to Jamaica, Cayman, but it's really that kind of feedback of everybody that likes having that Cozumel day versus doing a cruise only to Jamaica, not liking getting off the ship, didn't do what you wanted to do, and then going home, you know. So thank you. This was a great live video. Trip reviews, welcome. Again, we can do this more regularly if people like it. I guess we might see more comments after the video is over. Sean says, how are you guys dealing with being apart from each other so much? We did, well, I'd say at least a year ago, my wife now has a permanent residency visa for Australia, and she was meant to fly here last week. So everything went really horribly wrong last week when her flight got canceled. Russia closed the borders with her to fly from Russia out of Russia. We did have a flight with Qatar Airways booked, and then literally the day before, suddenly we got the information that the flight was canceled. And then effectively that night or the next day, Russia closed its borders. We did set out a few rules about a year or two ago after we got married about the plan of her getting her visa to come and live in Australia, me eventually not being on cruise ships. And we did have expectations that we were going to be apart. I wasn't going to be there in Moscow. She wasn't going to be here in Australia. And we've dealt with that. And we got to come to Australia together last year. I can't remember exactly now. Did we come in October? September, October? I don't remember exactly when we came. And August. And she loved it. I knew she would. I knew she'd enjoy every part of it. She loves Rockingham. She loves the beaches down the road from where I am here. So she just wants to get on the plane now, wants to get in the house, wants to get things done, wants to start her little home business. She does nails. She's a manicurist. You'd hate to see my nails now. And we have getting the visa so quickly. It was meant to be almost a 2-year process. We got the visa in under a year. And that was basically kind of crazy to think how fast all that happened. So we did set out a lot of expectations of when and where we will be together, how long we'll be together. I love flying to Russia and being in Moscow with my wife, and I love just doing normal things when I'm there as well, going to the shopping center, going for lunch, going to Red Square area in Moscow. I know I make it sound like it's so simple, but from living there, it is. I can easily catch a bus myself, the trains, get myself around Moscow. I can probably do that easier in Moscow than I can do it here in Perth. I don't know the schedule of buses or trains or anything. So yeah. All right, everybody. I've kind of reached the last question in the live chat. We've still got 10 people watching. What I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to sign off from here. I hope everybody's enjoyed the chat and the question and answer session that we had. I hope to make this more of a regular thing. One thing I'd really like to do is try to somehow do a news video, like a 10-minute video, maybe every 3 or 4 days, or however much news comes on. I'm not sure if I can work that out or not. But yeah, so I like cruise ships, the YouTube channel. I'm doing my famous goodbye. I always do this hand and this wave. I hope you've liked the videos, this video. I hope you get a chance to look at other videos in the channel on the playlists. Thanks everybody for watching. Sean's the last commenter right there. Trip reviews, Melody. Let's go back here a little bit, shall we? Pamela, Fox and Time, Ramiro, John, Christine, Purvis, Pamela, Vincent, Waldo, Becky. Thanks, everybody. It was a small group, but a very good live chat. Thanks for watching, and I'm going to say goodbye from Perth, Australia. Bye, everybody. Catch you later. Bye.